from Salt and Sand Studios. My name is Karen. Today we are going to work with a little bit of internal and external light. But we're going to start standing. I know it's a little unusual, but that's totally cool. We're just going to shake things out a little bit. Maybe wave the arms. Shake the legs. Head to one side, head to the other, and take that again. Find your breath. If you're squishing the mat with your toes, see if you can release. Drop your chin to your chest. Make some neck circles in one direction, and then the other. Chin comes parallel to the earth. Shrug the shoulders up to the ears. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe in. Shoulders behind, release. And again. And a third time. Now, like we're a candle, we reach the arms out and up and press the palms together. Reach, 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 and exhale, hands to your heart. Your choice if you'd like to keep your hands at your heart or by your sides. We're going to walk through a little bit of visualization here. Notice the breath first. You don't have to change it. Check in with the tongue and the jaw, loosen them up, the eye sockets. Become aware now of the breath moving to and from the feet. Now notice the breath moving from the feet into the knees. Drawing upward to the thighs and the hips. And circling the inner and outer belly and low back. And up to the ribs, all the way around the body. The chest. The throat. Across the shoulders. Down the shoulder blades into the elbows. Wrists. Hands and fingers. And all the way up through the crown of the head. Now with the crown of the head, picture a glowing light. Right at the crown of the head, it doesn't have to be large. Maybe you even feel a little tingling on the top of your head, or notice a bit of color kind of coming into your thoughts, your imagination, your mind's eye. Maybe something like a lilac or a lavender, light purple. As you deepen the breath, that light draws higher into the sky. Maybe so far you can't see the top of the rays. And while that is taking place, then this little bubble forms, maybe a big bubble around you with that light out protected space, a safe space, a space you have created for yourself where nothing negative can enter. And we'll work today with this space of light, of breath, of prana, through our very gentle practice, a bit more of a holding practice rather than a major kind of flow. So while we're in our bubble, if your hands are at your heart, drop them by the sides. Breathe in fully and breathe out. And as if you could sweep some of that sensation of safety from the feet all the way up to the head, arms out and up. And we take an exhale, folding over the legs into a halfway lift. Long, long spine, maybe your bottom drops a little bit. And exhale for a forward fold. We're going to step back, one foot at a time, and pause, kind of stretch things out. Maybe a rock back and forth in your plank. Fingers nice and wide. Feel how powerful you are, unstoppable today. Knees drop. Untuck your toes, bring your bottom toward your heels and spread the knees nice and wide, moving your way into a child's pose. This is a spot still in our safety bubble to set your intention for your practice. Doesn't matter if it's something big or something small that seems big. Maybe something for right here and right now, or perhaps it's something to take off the mat with you in aspiration. Rock your head back and forth 3 times and repeat that intention to yourself. Breathe in fully. Breathe out completely. You're going to draw your way into a tabletop. And find some cats and cows. I did some yoga with some littles this week. It was really fun. We did a lot of animals, but of course the first animal that was shouted out by one of the children to do was a unicorn. Like, all right, we'll do sort of a tabletop horse with a, horn out of the head. And it was so much fun. Really enjoyable exploring with the children. All right, maybe some hip circles here. You might consider where your light is shining brightest here. Maybe it's shining brightest on the part of the body that feels the most open, the most tended to. Or maybe it's shining a light on something that's feeling a little tight or hanging on to an emotion. We're going to reach the right leg long, but keep the ball of the foot on the mat. A little rocking forward and backward. And then once the hips draw back of the knees, really reach that heel away from you. Bring the shoulders over the wrists and slowly float that leg off the mat, squaring up your hips. And if you like a balanced challenge, as you're pressing the top of the left foot into the mat and all of the finger tops, you're going to float the left hand in front of you. As I said, we're going to hold some of the poses a little bit longer than we might typically do in a vinyasa practice. If you like a quad stretch, sweep your left hand around to take a hold of the right foot, ankle, or pant leg. You can also do this simply by bending the right knee and pumping the leg up and down. Bring your heart forward a little bit and see if you can tilt your pelvis more toward the front of your mat. Left hand plants. Right leg floats over the left calf, so it's coming outside the left side of the mat. Shoelace side of the foot on the ground, and glide, glide, glide the front of that left hip toward your right heel. Your forearms are on the mat. A little real estate between your shoulder blades. If you're not feeling a lot in your left glutes, or maybe you just feel like you have space to go, there's open, safe space lighted for you. You can tuck your right toes under and float the right knee off the mat. It has been a hot minute since I've been on this mat with you, so I'm really excited to be here this morning. It's also kind of nice to be really waking up with the day with yoga for me. Maybe not for you, depending on whether you're here right now while I'm making this or whether you are at some other time of the day. We're going to float back up, three-legged tabletop. Bring your knee to your nose. Reach that leg long again and bring the knee down. Any movement the body calls for, take it here. And all that jimmy-jabby on the other side. Left leg extends, ball of the foot on the ground. Rocking forward and backward to stretch out the heel, the sole of the foot, the calf. And then press away that heel with intention. Shoulders draw over the wrist, belly in and up, float the leg. Float the right arm. Power up. Unstoppable. Full of light. Surrounded by your safety bubble. The bubble that is sort of like nutrients for you. You feed it, it feeds you. Right hand down. Oops. Quad stretch. Forgot that part. And right hand around, perhaps to the foot or the ankle or the pant leg. Heart reaches forward as you press the foot into the hand and the hand into the foot. And maybe it's not that kind of quad stretch. Maybe instead you are just pumping that leg up and down. And now arm and leg forward. Arm and leg, arm and hammer, right hand down. A sweep of the left leg above the right calf. And glide the front of the right hip toward, the front of the left hip toward the right heel. I have hit the wall. Toes tuck under to lift that knee if you have more space to work with. And come back to your three-legged tabletop. Knee toward the nose. Take your time. Stretch back up. And bring your knee down to the mat. I'm going to scoot a little more toward the middle of the mat, top and bottom, and sit back down on the heels. If this is difficult for you, you can always lift up and place a prop behind your knees. I'm going to sit here for a moment with the hands on the thighs, coming back to the breath, the safe space. Safe space can get larger or smaller based on what you've just experienced. Or maybe there's something in the safe space with you that you have invited. Nothing negative, but maybe it's a color or a flower or a song. Bring the hands either beside or behind the feet, and then walk them back as far as you can. So coming into a little back bend here. You might stay with your bottom on your heels, tilting your pelvis forward, squeezing the shoulder blades together, drawing the belly slightly in, or perhaps you take a lift of the hips to lift the bottom off the heels. You could also drop your head back. So our first back bend of the day, for me, maybe not for you. Bottom comes down, shoulders over the hips, hands to your heart. We're going to take a twist, so we'll move over to the left. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, left arm floats open like a wing or unfurls like a flag, whatever image you might like. The bubble around you is a bit malleable in terms of your choices, not other people's choices. So the bubble might have just gotten bigger. The gaze is toward the left thumb. We come forward, hands on the chest, breathe in and out. Inhale to twist to the other side. Inhale. Exhale, arm sweeps away from you, gaze is toward the thumb. Draw forward and rise to the knees. Bring the hands to the hips. And you might kickstand that right foot out to the right just a teeny bit as you stretch the left foot to the left. You want the left foot parallel to the edge of the mat. Your leg reasonably straight, and you're pressing into the outer edge of that left foot. You're going to start by dropping the hands by the sides. Lifting both arms. We're going to take a twist. Left arm back, right arm forward. Come forward, arms overhead. Drop the left hand onto your left leg. Glide it down toward the foot as you take a tilt. Lift the heart, draw the belly in. In our safe bubble, arms windmill up, right hand down, left arm high, and press the pelvis forward. Maybe a gaze up toward your left fingers, but we're super press that left foot to the earth and the pelvis forward. We're going to windmill back up into the letter T, or maybe it's sort of an X, I'm not sure. Arms overhead and hands to your heart. We'll take that to the other side, so we find our kneeling spot. If you need to fold over your mat now because you're thinking, knees aren't quite working the way it feels good on the mat, you fold over the mat. Kickstand the left foot a little out to the left. Shift the right leg long to the side. Press, press, press into the outer edge of that foot. We're opening up the inner thigh here. Arms float high. Right hand down, a tilt to the right. Arms windmill up, and then the left hand down, finding the ground or a block, and then pressing the hips forward, heart up, gaze up. We rise back up, and this time our twist. Left arm forward, right arm behind, a gaze at the right thumb. It's a nice psoas opener, hip flexor opener on the left there. Come forward, arms overhead. Maybe you're touching the top of the bubble. Maybe the top of the bubble is far, far away from you for a bigger, safe space. Hands to your heart, and we come into kneeling. Big breath in. Huge breath out. See if you can press your toes to the mat and spread them out. You want to bring the left foot forward into our knee down lunge, Anjaneyasana. Make sure the left ankle is directly under the left knee. Activate your right glutes and your right hamstrings. And press the shoelace side of that foot to the mat. I'm feeling a little wobbly this morning, so I moved my left foot out to the left. We're going to go ahead and take the arms behind, stack, hook, or interlace, doesn't matter which. Draw the knuckles down, heart open, keep squeezing those right glutes. Maybe in your bubble you're starting to see some beautiful colors that might make you smile. Maybe your flower is still there with you, or whatever object you brought in. Maybe sound. Maybe color. And maybe your favorite scents, perhaps, as we are moving into spring, even though here in Vermont we're still having some frosts. Maybe there's a scent of lilac or wood, or the mineral scent of river. So we're going to take a nice fold, like a humble warrior sort of thing. Place the heel of the left hand on your low back and the right hand on the ground under your shoulder. Lift halfway up. Use the belly a lot, and then take a twist to the left. As you start to feel that out, you're pressing the whole left foot into the ground. You're pointing that left knee upward, straight up. Maybe it feels good to float the left arm if shoulder allows. The left hand comes down to the mat and we move into a half split. I'm lengthening my stance by bringing my right foot back and my left foot forward. Don't think about pressing the chest or the head to the knee or the shin. Rather, let the body naturally glide long from the hips to the crown of the head. And maybe, just maybe, possibly, but maybe not, there is a little bit of a reach and a fold. Long spine is your aim. Notice your bubble of protection, of safety, of comfort. It is there for you. You have created it. No negative. We scoot the sole of that left foot back onto the mat. Sometimes mats don't like that. Tuck your toes under and lengthen both legs. Lengthening your hip, bringing your hips up, but you're still currently on the ball of your back foot. See if you can rise up halfway. Stay on the ball of that back foot. Plant the right hand. We're going to take a twist again. So heel of the left hand at your low back. Lift halfway up. You might need a little bend in your front knee. I certainly do. On an exhale, you're going to twist. You're going to feel it out. You're going to notice how you feel in the bubble, in your hip, in your back, in your shoulder. And if it makes sense, maybe you sweep that left arm up. Still on the ball of the back foot. Hand comes down to the mat. Now we move into pyramid pose, Parsvottanasana, by simply hopping that back foot up so both feet are all the way on the ground. I like to widen my stance a little bit to square up the hips and then draw halfway up. You can always use blocks or hands on the shins. So imagine the left foot is dragging back and the right hip is facing down. Thighs kind of spanning their energy toward each other, and if it feels okay, you can fold over your legs. arms out in front, hands at your heart, hands on your hips, arms up, your choice. Inhale, rise to standing. Drop your right hand to tilt to the right. You might feel a little uneven now. One hip more open than the other. One set of hamstrings more open than the other. Rise up and tilt the other way. Bubble large enough for you to stand in and sweep your arms around and up. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. And a forward fold. We're going to step back to a high plank or tabletop. I need to remove my outer layer. I'm plenty warmed up now. So you're in your tabletop. Feel free to take any shapes that make sense or movement, like a hula hoop movement, which can feel really good. Cats and cows. Child's pose if movement doesn't feel like what your body wants. Now we're going to make sure we have nice wide fingers, shoelace size of the feet on the earth. And on an exhale, we're going to draw the belly in, round the spine, push the knees away, gather them up, and breathe. Knees drop, cow, and the cat. And a neutral spine, we take that again, nice and firm, firmly planted on the ground, belly strong as you tilt the pelvis forward to float the knees off the mat. Breathe. Drop the knees, a cow. This time we're going to take the same thing, but at the end, rather than dropping the knees back down, we're going to roll over the toes, if possible, and come into our downward dog, so neutral spine. Don't worry, I didn't forget the other side. Outlines of the fingers like a comic strip attached to the earth. Shins, tops of the feet, and now we round the spine, creating this cat sort of shape. Float the knees up, breathe. Use the belly, roll over the toes, downward dog, pedal into your down dog. Beautiful. We're going to take a vinyasa, so we'll make our way to the front of the mat. We'll salute the sun. Floating up. Hello, sun. And bowing. Halfway lift. Forward fold. And move into our plank. Maybe the knees drop if you need it. Need it, knees, haha. And our halfway down plank into a back bend. Watch your shoulders. And into a down dog. We peel forward to our plank. Stretch out. Exhale, downward dog. Again, plank. And tabletop. Knees a little apart, so we can step the right foot in front. Yes, we're moving to the second side. You're like, I did all that other stuff. What about all the other stuff in between? Symmetrical? All right. So we are in Anjaneyasana. We're stable. We have our bubble. We're safe. We have the light and the breath, the prana spreading from the crown of the head. You can almost feel the color and the warmth and the beauty bubbling at the top of your head. Hands behind you. If you can remember what you did last time on which way you hooked or interlaced or stacked the fingers and hands, try it the other way, the awkward way, and then press that down. Lots of energy in the shoelace side of the back foot and the heel of the front. And then we will reach with the torso, squeezing the left glutes and activating the left hamstrings, and then we humble. Heel of the right hand on the ground, left hand down to the earth. Lift halfway up, heart forward on a breath out, twist. That knee is coming straight forward and the shin is perpendicular to the earth. And if it feels okay, you can float that right arm. Next breath out, hand down to the mat for your half split. Heart forward, back long, reach with that heart, shoulders toward the hips. And maybe with that stretch and that half lift, you have a little space to work downward and forward. Nice, long, slow stretch. No forcing. Hands might move a little forward to allow you to scooch the right foot onto the mat. We tuck the left toes under and lift the hips. Extend both legs. You're on the ball of the back foot. We're going to take another twist. Left hand down. Heel of the right hand on your low back. Half lift. And twist. This is sort of a reverse something or other. And then if it works for you, right arm floats. It might not come perpendicular to the earth, but that's okay. You work what you can work with. Right hand down, hop your back foot up partway, Parsvottanasana. Maybe you spread the feet left to right a little bit. Come into your halfway lift, your long spine. Extend that back leg. Put a lot of power into the heel and the outer edge of the foot. Press the big toe mound into the earth and fold if it feels okay. You're going to move back into chair pose, so bring your hands forward. Bring the left foot up. Maybe the feet touch, maybe you do not. Drop your bottom, send your energy into your heels. Draw the arms behind you like you're in sort of a skiing stance, but your energy is in your heels. You're not leaning forward. And then maybe the arms come in front and lock into your shoulders. And then maybe the arms float overhead. Lift up to standing. Exhale your forward fold, halfway lift, moving into our vinyasa once again. Stepping back, high plank, maybe a pause, low plank, heart forward of your thumbs, a back bend, into down dog. Move the left foot a little more to the right. Float your right leg high. draw your right knee toward your right wrist and see how much you can get that shin parallel to the front of the mat. We're moving into a back bend, scooting the left leg back. If you need something underneath your right glutes, take it. If you have a bind, you can always bend that left leg and bring your arm around the foot into the crook of your elbow. And then into pigeon fold. I'm going to use my fist under my right thigh so that thigh can relax a little closer to the earth. Shoulders are relaxed, bubble is still around you. Breath filling that bubble with your own love, your own compassion, your own warmth. Light, safety, comfort, only the positive. Something negative pops into your head, allow it a little space to dissipate. Bring the hands back under the shoulders, tuck the left toes under, come back into a three-legged dog, right leg floating. And if you like, you can open up your dog. Lengthen the leg back out, draw the knee to the nose. Inhale, extend, and drop that foot down more near the center of the mat than the right. This time the left leg floats up, and we find our pigeon back bend here, not worrying about whether the shin is more parallel or less parallel to the front of the mat. Find your back bend. I always find after a couple breaths I can extend my stance, if you will, by bringing the right foot backward and into your fold. Again, I'm going to take my fist under my thigh just to give it a little bit of support so it relaxes downward instead of trying to hold itself off the mat. Perfect place to return to your intention. And once again, hands draw underneath the shoulders. We tuck the back toes, draw into our three-legged dog. Open up that dog, if that feels okay for you, it's not required. And then extend the leg, bring the knee to the nose. Extend back out, foot comes down, high plank, knees down to the mat. We're going to walk the knees forward a little bit and come into a seat. I'm going to work on a reverse tabletop. The children inspired me. The children of Inkling's books inspired me this week. So the feet are on the ground, not so close to your bottom, knees bent toward the sky. Hands come behind you. Now, just like you're doing a bridge, it's sort of a tilt of the tailbone up, and then a shift of the knees forward, and then maybe the head drops back. You're working the pelvis toward the sky, and you breathe here. 3, 2, and 1. We drop the bottom toward the heels, come to our forearms. And we drop the knees out. And again, a back bend. Feet back to the earth. Returning using the belly to your seat. You might move your bottom backward a little bit. Hands stay beside or behind you. Feet come as wide as your mat. Knees drop together, a little torso twist. And then we're going to come back to long legs on the mat. Not that I ever had long legs, on or off the mat. Heels reach away from you. Let's take just checking the time, Janushirshasana, right foot inside the left thigh, sit up really tall before you reach your heart forward for your fold. Look, again, aiming for a long spine, so if that means bending your left knee, bend your left knee. Rise up, soles of the feet together are nice diamonds, generously sized. Wrists under the ankles. I think this must be one of my go-to postures because I do it all the time. Heart forward, round your spine, drop your head. Take the energy out of your shoulders. Your bubble might have made itself smaller to encompass you more closely, or maybe it remained the same size that it was. Lots of space to fill with comfort and warmth and relaxation and love and light. Rise up to your seat using your belly, Janushirshasana on the other side. Use the belly to rise up. Parsvottanasana. Nope. Paschimottanasana. Double-legged seated forward fold. Keeping your heart forward, the toes pointing toward you and the sky. And then lift up, arms in front. Draw them back into your shoulder blades. Use the belly to come all the way down to your back. Any last shape, posture, or movement you need. I'm going to take first a long full body pencil stretch. And then I'm going to hug my knees in toward my chest for a little rocking left and right. You might take a happy baby or virtual legs up the wall. And we're going to move into Shavasana. Whatever posture will suit you for a few minutes. Lying relatively still, palms up, feet flopping left and right, shoulder blades kissing the earth, bubble around you, and perhaps you imagine as you slow the breath down and then make it effortless, there are changing colors within your safety bubble, your place of rest, of inward looking, of self-awareness, of kindness to yourself. A place where maybe there's some positive coming from you, or maybe it's neutral. Maybe it's simply the removing of the negative. Shavasana. return into the body, maybe just starting with little wiggles and little turns of your wrists and ankles. We're beginning to reawaken, all refreshed, breath deepens. You could draw your knees in and roll to one side, or maybe rock and roll forward and backward to your seat. Sitting bones come toward your heels. If you prefer a different sort of meditative posture, feel free. You're going to go ahead and place the hands in the lap with the back of the right hand in the palm of the left. And the tips of the thumbs are touching. Shrug the shoulders up to the ears. Breathe in. Reach them behind you. Let them go. Come back to awareness of the feet, the breath, the warmth, the compassion, all right there. You draw it upward using the breath to the ankles and the knees, the hips, the low back and belly, the rib cage all around you, chest, shoulder blades, collarbones, around the shoulders, deepening into the shoulders down to the elbows, the wrists, the hands, the fingers, and then you notice again in the center of the throat, and it rises up under the chin to the back of the head, the mouth, the cheekbones, the ears, the eye sockets, to the top of the head, the crown of the head, the chakra of 1,000-petaled flower, beautifully light purple. Breath and light reaching out and upward, perhaps to infinity. Surrounding you protectively with your prana, your life force, your space of positivity. Press your hands to your heart, reconsider your intention, and let's celebrate that, as well as share the merits of the practice outward to all of those in need, who maybe are spending their lives with that sense of a cloud over their heads or negative thoughts swirling around them. Let's bring them some of our warmth, some of our respect, some of our compassion and light. We'll do so using a chant of Om, not necessary to join in, but if you would like to, breathe all the air from your lungs. Inhale to prepare. Thumb knuckles connect with your center forehead. May your space of light and compassion, your bubble of positivity, remain with you. Namaste. Well, thank you all so much for joining me. It was great to be here with you again. As I said, it's been a hot minute. And if you're watching this and it is not yet the middle of June, know that we have a really fantastic retreat planned for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, starting the 21st, with yoga and wonderful food and music and chanting and meditation and discussion and glass fusing. We'd love to have you here. Check the website, saltandsandstudios.com. Thank you.